This is 6.10 properties of addition. The two properties we are going to be working on are the commutative property and the associative property. So here are a couple of examples, just some reminders of what the commutative property are. So commutative property, here's an example, is 1/2 plus 3/5 is the same thing as 3/5 plus 1/2. It doesn't matter what order you put the fractions, it's going to be the same. So 1/2 plus 3/5 or 3/5 plus 1/2, it's the same thing. So commutative property, you can switch the numbers around and you still get the same answer. So that's what commutative property is. Associative property. Associative property, do you remember it has to do with the parentheses? So when we associate things, we like group it together, we keep it together, or remember we talked about lawyers, attorneys, and a law firm, and they usually are called like Perry and Associates. Well, they are a group of attorneys. So when we talk about associative property, we're talking about parentheses and groups. So this problem has a parenthesis, and in parentheses it has 2/9 plus 1/8, and then outside of it has plus 3/8. Well, that's the same thing as moving the parenthesis around the eighths. So we have 2/9 plus 1/8 plus 3/8. So all we did is we moved the parenthesis from here to here. We moved it around the eighths. The reason we do these kind of things in math is to make problems easier. So we can switch these numbers to different spots in a problem to make it easier. Associative property is to make it easier. Isn't it easier to add together the fractions with the denominator, with the common denominator first? So the 1/8 plus the 3/8, that's why we put that in parentheses, because we do, remember, order of operations. We add the things inside of the parentheses first. So inside of parentheses we have 2 5/8 plus 5/6 plus 1 1/8. So the first thing I'm going to do is I drew my line down. I'm going to work with the commutative property. So the commutative property says I can move numbers around. Okay, it doesn't have to do with moving the parentheses around, but I can move numbers around to put them in different spots to make my problem easier. So look at my problem. I have 2 5/8 plus 5/6 plus 1 1/8. I want to get those 8's next to each other. The denominator. It's going to be easier. It's going to make my problem easier. So I'm going to move my 5/6 over here, and I'm going to move my 2 5/8 over here, and then I'm just going to bring down my 1 1/8. Okay? Now the next step is the associative property. So we have the 6 and the 8 together, those denominators together, but we have to do inside of the parentheses first, and we don't want to add the 6 and the 8 together first. So we need to get this parenthesis around the 8's, because that's what we want to do first. So we're going to move this. Parenthesis. So my 5/6 is going to stay right over here. Okay, this stays right here. I'm just drawing the arrows. But now my parentheses moved. They moved over. So now the numbers I have inside of my parentheses are 2 5/8 and 1 1/8. And now my problem is going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to add these first, and then I can add this at the end. So here are our two extra credit problems. You have 5/7 plus 3/14 plus 4/7, 3 7/10 plus 5 3/4 plus 3/4,